Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly recap. Now today, finally, Jagex has sent out an official warning to gold buyers. This means going forward, if you buy gold in OSRS, you could face harsher punishments, which is a really big step forward for anti-cheating. On top of that, there's a bit more information regarding upcoming Duel Arena changes, as well as there is a game update today, which we're of course going to be covering. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, if you do find these videos helpful, don't forget to leave a like on the video. Just a few minutes ago, I finished all the jumping jacks from the last video, so thank you for all your support on that one. Anyway, guys, let's get started. So let's start off with what I think is the most important news of the week, and that would be regarding real-world trading and gold buyers. So just this morning, we got a new blog called Game Integrity Real-World Trading. Now, this isn't entirely new information. A few weeks back, during one of the leadership live streams, it was revealed that in the near future, Jagex wanted to start putting a heavier focus on punishing gold buying, and today we have the blog. So here's what they have to say. Gold purchased through real-world trade is a problem in many online games featuring tradable currencies. During the last 20 years, our anti-cheating team has done much to tackle real-world trade sellers, both in and out of game. However, it's just not sellers that have an impact on game integrity. Buyers fuel demand, and higher demand means more sellers, more bots to remove, and more nefarious activities. Thanks to our growing team and improved tools, we're now in a position where, as well as tackling sellers, we can also begin to clamp down on buyers. In the next few hours, we'll be sending out messages to players we've identified as engaging in real-world trade. For anyone who is involved, we want to be clear, this is your one and only warning. Should any further real-world trade activity be detected, accounts face possible bans and wealth removal. So that is a pretty strong stance. They're going to be sending out, messages, kind of similar to how your internet service provider will send out warnings when you pirate things. Hopefully in this case, they are more effective though. So why is this a big step? Well, as they highlight in the blog, their approach to only really focusing on gold selling, trying to cut it at the source, really is just not working. There's no way for them to remove all gold sellers at a time, so no matter what they do, there's always somebody selling gold on a third-party marketplace. Now that said, if going forward they start putting a heavier punishment on buying gold, that will definitely reduce the demand, which honestly could have a much greater impact. And let's be honest, they've been trying their original approach for 20 years, so I think trying a different route is definitely a good idea. Now on top of that, during the blog, they also mentioned Duel Arena real-world trade. Now one really interesting stat, it's a lot higher than I thought. 38% of all real-world trade bans revolve around the Duel Arena, which is kind of insane. So also during that same leadership live stream, they mentioned that they are going to be removing the Duel Arena at some point in the future. Now there's a bit more information on the staking cap that they mentioned, as well as a loose timeline on when we can expect these things. Now the first kind of short-term solution for the Duel Arena is to implement a staking cap, which is going to come in November. The staking cap will be 10 mil per duel, which means you can't stake anything above that, which will severely hamper real-world trading through the Duel Arena. They're also going to be adding in 2 new duel presets for whip duels and boxing duels, which should help reduce scamming. Now they haven't made any commitments on when the Duel Arena is going to be removed, but they are going to be replacing it with something. Now they say our long-term solution is going to arrive in 2022, where we'll be replacing the Duel Arena with something more engaging and enjoyable, such as a system that generates 1v1 tournaments, and perhaps even expanding it up to 2v2 or 5v5. So it looks like you'll still be able to have duels per se, but the whole thing will be revamped, and hopefully monetary incentive is not going to be the main focus here. So overall, I'm really happy to see this blog. Honestly, I do commend Jagex for all of the work they've done on these lesser obvious and flashy changes, but on things that honestly will really improve the game and make it better for everyone in the long run. So next up, we're going to be covering today's game update. Now it's mainly focused on Group Ironman, a few minor changes, proposed changes for the future, and bug fixes and stuff like that. Now one of the biggest things players may have noticed this week is that the group storage was actually disabled. So on October 9th, Jagex made a tweet stating that the Group Ironman's shared storage system will be made temporarily inaccessible. Now this was apparently due to some unintended item behavior related to the storage, and apparently disabling it was simply just a precaution. So luckily with today's game update, the group storage space was re-enabled. So on the topic of group storage, a lot of players think the group storage space is too small. Now Jagex is willing to add in more group storage, however, the way they're pitching it in this blog is they would add it in as an unlockable piece of content, so it could be locked behind the achievement diary, It could be a flat out gold payment or some other means of progression to get more group storage. Now, another feature that players have been asking for is a group chat and group broadcast. So they say that they are working on adding this in the coming weeks. It'll be similar to the clan chat, but only for you and your group. They're also going to be implementing the broadcast system that is currently used for clans. So if you get a big loot drop, some achievements, or other major milestones, you can get a broadcast within your group chat. And finally here, the other content proposal they have here is regarding a shared group hall. So there's a huge amount of demand for a shared player-owned house. However, failing that, a customizable instance which can be shared, upgraded, and only accessible to a group would be the next best thing. But this one would require a ton of dev time, so that one might not be coming anytime soon. So those are all potential changes to Group Ironman that you could see in the near future. Now obviously there are a ton of hot fixes this week, a few bigger ones that they've fixed. There were some bugs in the high scores with some groups being placed in the wrong category. For example, some groups of 4 might be placed on the group of 3 high scores. Apparently that is now fixed. Now another thing they addressed during this update is what activities will remove group prestige. Now prestige groups are meant for Group Ironman that are going to stay together forever. You can't add or remove players and keep your group prestige. However, on top of that, some activities will remove group prestige if you tackle them with players outside of your group. For example, the Chambers of Zarek, Theater of Blood, the Nightmare of Ashihama, and the Tombs of Amasket. When it's out, you have to do with just your Group Ironman group or you will lose your prestige, which means everyone from the group has to contribute and you can't get any outside help and remain prestiged. Okay, so that's it for Group Ironman changes. Now there are a few main game changes, but pretty minor. Probably my favorite one of the week is 5 new music tracks have been added in to the Kurend area, continuing to flesh out Kurend, and music is really important to make an area feel unique. So first up here we have Beyond the Meadows, which is located in Hosidius, just a bit south of the Kurend Castle. For the love of God, I hope that replaced Country Jig. Next up here we have the new Forest of Shazian track, which is kind of located around the outskirts of Shazian. Next up here we have the Out at the Mines track, which is located at the Blast Mine and the northwest of Lovakenge. Probably my favorite new track is Not a Moment of Relief, which is located out at the Dark Altar and the Blood and Soul Runecrafting Altar. And then finally here, another track that is located in the Warrens, which I think is the place you go for the Queen of Thieves quest and a few others. So I'm happy to see a few main game changes, even if it's just music. So anyway guys, that is going to be it for the weekly recap. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, let me know what you think of the update down below. I'm always curious to know what you guys think of the update. So leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Now, before I go here, I want to give a massive thank you to all of my members over on YouTube. Thanks so much to Sejuani's Flail, The Hybrid, Guy Fox, Timothy Chen, Ocelot, and Kush Patel for all being subscribed at the Dragon tier. You guys, it honestly means so much you guys are willing to support me that much. Thank you. Also, a giant thank you to Base Titch, Mexos, NDM001, and Yo-Yo Sub 89 for being subscribed at the Runite tier. As always, if you guys are looking for another way to support the channel, becoming a YouTube member is an awesome way to do so. Mainly, you'll be immortalized in all of my future videos, but you also get a custom role in my Discord server, as well as access to my video release schedule. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next time.